In today's video, we're going to be talking about this opportunity to move down to New Zealand as a permanent resident. So you're moving to work in New Zealand and you are landing New Zealand as a permanent resident, okay? And you can also move with your family on this pathway. So you and your family, your spouse and your children can move to New Zealand as permanent residents to work. So if you're interested in that, please stick with me in this video. And if it's your first time of seeing me, you're welcome to the channel. Right here, I share info to help you move abroad. Please subscribe to the channel and also turn on the notification bell, so whenever I share a new video, you'll be notified and you get to watch it. All right, returning subscribers, thanks for all the support. Love you all. You guys are really amazing. And I also want to share this amazing opportunity to make at least $1,000 every month with a side hustle that you can do from the comfort of your home, from anywhere around the world. This is something I have done for over 4 years, and I do believe it's going to be profitable for you that you're planning to move abroad. It can be a way to save money to move abroad and also help you with your living expenses while you are abroad as well. So you can start a publishing business on Amazon KDP. You can Google it. There are several ways you can publish on Amazon KDP, but the way I do it is by publishing public domain books that I got from STACKLEE. So what STACKLEE does is that they put together the best-selling books that are in high demand globally. So people in the US, Canada, the UK, Germany, all around the world are looking for these books, and you can just buy the already formatted and edited manuscripts from STACKLEE. So you don't need to write these books, you don't need to edit, you don't need to do anything to the manuscripts. You buy it already prepared, and all you need to do is publish it on Amazon and sell to a global audience. So I currently have the links in the description box to buy your packs of manuscripts. So when you buy your pack, you're going to be getting free training from STACKLEE, all right, to get it done. STACKLEE also trained me. So if you're wondering, how can I do this? I don't know anything about it. Not to worry. STACKLEE has training that is going to hold your hand from the beginning to the end, from setting up your KDP account to publishing your books to getting paid, plus your business success in KDP, everything. And I also have my own KDP group as well. So when you buy your pack of manuscripts from STACKLEE, you can send me an email and I will add you to my KDP group. So let's get into it. Please, if you're just joining, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. It's very important. It helps the channel a great deal. So if you like it, I'm sure you do because you're still watching, just please give back to the channel by dropping a like. Okay, so there's an icon that is a thumbs up icon like this, all right, under the video. I see you guys hitting the heart icon. That is amazing. But also hit the like button as well. It's directly under the video. It really helps. It's free, and you can do that in 1 second. All right, so how about you support me as well by just hitting that like button. And if you're new here and you're not yet subscribed, please subscribe to the channel so that you can always be getting updates from me whenever I post them. Okay, so New Zealand has an update. Okay, you know how every country has a shortage occupation list, and if your occupation is on that list, you stand a higher chance of getting a visa sponsorship job to move down to that country. Okay, so New Zealand also has their own shortage occupation list, and they have recently updated it and added more occupations to that list, right? So more occupations, they'll usually update it from time to time. So now they just updated it for May, for the month of May this month, and added another occupation to it. So let me start by sharing the visa type, okay? So New Zealand has 3 kinds of resident visas for workers, okay? The first one is called the straight to resident. That is the one where you land New Zealand as a permanent resident, and that is the one we are talking about today in this video. The second one is a work to resident, where when you move to New Zealand and work for 2 years, then you can apply for your permanent residency. And another one is highly skilled or highly paid, something like that. Okay, so there are different ones. So today's one is straight to resident, where you move to New Zealand as a permanent resident. Okay, so straight to resident visa, yeah. So apply for this visa if you currently work or have a job offer from an accredited employer and your role is on tier 1 of the green list in demand. So the green list is basically the shortage occupation list for New Zealand, okay? So it's called shortage occupation list in the UK. So I'm sure many people are acquainted with that name. So for New Zealand, it's called the green list. And on the green list, they have tier 1 and tier 2. So this straight to resident visa is for those roles that are on tier 1. All right. So that's basically how it works. So you can stay in New Zealand indefinitely on this visa. So it's a permanent residency visa. And the age range is 55 or younger. So like the upper age limit for this visa is 55 years old. So if you're 18 to 55, you can apply for this visa. All right. So what you can do, live, work, and study in New Zealand. You can move with your family. You can include your partner. You can see it here. Include your partner and dependent children aged 24 or younger. So most countries, the dependents you can bring in terms of children are children that are 18 and younger. But for New Zealand, you can bring a child that is up to 24 years of age. So it's 24 or younger, all right, in terms of your children. So this is really amazing. So they have all the details about the straight to resident visa, which you guys can just go through and just read it, yourselves, because that's not really what this video is about. I just wanted to give you a background to what we are dealing with here. So you can just Google straight to resident visa New Zealand and you're going to see the link come up. All right. All right. So this is green list roles. Yeah. So search the green list for roles in demand in New Zealand. If your role is listed and you have the qualifications, registration, or experience required, you may be able to get residence immediately or after 2 years of working here. So the where you get your residence immediately is where you are on tier 1, and where you get it after 2 years is when your role is under tier 2, right? I hope you understand it up to this point. So now we want to talk about tier 1 because we're talking about the straight to residence visa. All right. So when you look at it, let's just scroll down a bit. So when you look at the roles, you can actually search to see if your role is there. They currently have 205 roles on this list. Okay. So we are not going to go over all of them. It's something you can do on your own, but I just want to show you a little bit about it. So you see here, acoustic engineer. It is tier 1 role, eligible for straight to residence. So once you see your occupation, you just know straight up if you are eligible for the straight to residence visa or the work to residence visa, where you work in New Zealand for 2 years and then get your PR. All right. So all of this is tier 1, tier 1. Let me scroll till I see a tier 2. All right, this is a tier 2 right here. Assistant dairy farm manager is on tier 2, eligible for work to residence. So if you're an assistant dairy farm manager and you get a job in New Zealand and move to New Zealand after only 2 years of working in New Zealand, you can apply for your permanent residency. All right. So settling in New Zealand is really cool and easier than most countries. On the skilled worker visa for the UK, for example, you would need to work for 5 years before you're eligible to apply for your permanent residence. But here in New Zealand, 2 years only if you're on tier 2. And if you're on tier 1, you just land New Zealand as a permanent resident immediately. All right. So if you're just joining, please give the video a thumbs up. Give the video a like if you're just joining. Okay. All right. So let's get to the update for the green list for this month of May. So let's just get to see that. So this is the new updates, all right? Secondary school teachers moving to the straight to residence pathway, okay? So they have just upgraded secondary school teachers to the tier 1 of the green list. So if you're a secondary school teacher and you get a job in New Zealand, you can apply for the straight to residence, where you get to arrive New Zealand as a permanent resident. So you can see it here. From May 2024, secondary school teachers moved to the straight to residence pathway on the green list of in-demand roles. Okay, so that's really amazing. So it starts from this month of May. All right. So the government, let's just read it. The government has announced that secondary school teachers will move to the straight to residence pathway on the green list of in-demand roles. This move helps fill the likely shortage of secondary school teachers in the short to medium term, right? This change allows eligible overseas secondary school teachers to apply for residence from outside New Zealand when they have an offer of employment with an accredited employer. So we're going to come to that, the accredited employer, and without needing to work for 2 years in New Zealand first. So you can see there it's just plain. It's just telling you that if you're a secondary school teacher, you get a job in New Zealand, you are applying for a permanent residence from your country, so you no longer have to move to New Zealand and work for 2 years before you can apply for that. You can do it straight up from your country, all right? This change comes into effect in May, all right? It comes to effect in May. So other teachers remain on the work to residence pathway. So if you're a primary teacher and all of that, it's only secondary school teachers that have gotten this upgrade, all right, to be able to move to New Zealand as permanent residents. All right, so let's talk about accredited employers. So for you to get a visa sponsorship job in New Zealand, you have to get a job with an accredited employer. So it is not every employer in New Zealand that is accredited or has the license, right, to hire overseas workers. So if you're looking for a job that is going to aid you to move to New Zealand, you need to get a job with only an accredited employer. All right. So when you're searching for jobs, it's best to just limit your search to accredited employers only to make it easy for you. So you don't apply for jobs, get interviews, and at the interview stage, you're like, oh my goodness, so sorry. We thought you're in New Zealand, and all of that. So just apply directly to only those employers that have the accreditation to hire from overseas. Okay, so you use this searchable tool to check if an employer is an accredited employer. So while applying for jobs, just do that so you can reduce the amount of work that you do for employers that can't actually sponsor you. Okay, what you can search for, you can use this tool to search to check if an employer is currently accredited or not. If you are applying for a visa that requires you to work for an accredited employer. So how to use this tool, you can search by company name or trading name, and you can also search by New Zealand business number. All right. So here is a search place. This is where you can literally just search for it. So let's say you're looking for a job on Indeed, for example, or you just see a job advertised in New Zealand anywhere online. You can just copy the name of the employer and come and put it in this search box and search to see if they are accredited. So if they are, then you go ahead and apply. If not, you just leave it since you're looking for a visa sponsorship job. All right. So that's basically how it's done. So I hope you guys have learned something. So secondary school teachers, good news to you. You can now move to New Zealand as a permanent resident. And there are other roles as well that can move as permanent residents. So just go through the list that I spoke about earlier and see if your occupation is listed so you can move down to New Zealand as a permanent resident. All right, so I think we're done. Please don't forget to buy your pack of manuscripts from STACKLEE during these discount sales. And if you have bought your pack already, right, there is upgrade pack. So if you had previously bought a pack of 60 manuscripts, you can upgrade to 150 and 300. And if you had bought 150 previously, you can upgrade to 300. I always recommend the 300 pack because that is the one I did. And obviously that is where you can make the most money because, logically, the more products you have in the market, the more money, the more sales you can make. So that's just basically how it works. So if your target is to make $1,000 every month, then I think you should go for the 300 pack. All right. Okay. So links in the description. You can send me an email after buying your pack so I can add you to my KDP group. All right. So thank you so much for watching. Please drop a comment. Let me know which country you want me to talk about next, so I could do videos for you. Let's meet again tomorrow. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Love you all.